Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Clxc City Council Redevelopment Successor Agency Financing Authority regular meeting agenda. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. It's approximately 6:34 p.m. Please note the attendance. Ms. Garcia, everyone is present. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Ms. Hurtado. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Real. Please vote. And the motion carries unanimously. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Clxc website at clxc.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Another announcement is this Thursday there will be a Clxc Police Department Town Hall meeting, February 19th at San Diego State University's Rodney Auditorium at 720 Heber Avenue in Clxc, starting at 6:45 to 8 p.m. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. There was no closed session, so we're not deferring to City Manager at that time. Proclamation of the City Council setting March 31st as Cesar E. Chavez Day in the City of Clxc. And I have a proclamation that we're going to read, and we will present it to who, Ms. Garcia? Ms. Ortega? Okay. Okay, perfect. And each of the council members has a section for them to read. And I will start. Cesar E. Chavez Day, March 31st, 2015, proclamation of celebration. Whereas on March 31st, 1927, Cesar Estrada Chavez was born and later became a founder and full-time labor activist for the National Farm Workers Association, NFWA, whose mission was battling racial and economic discrimination against farm workers by using non-violence means, and
whereas the NFWA became the United Farm Workers of America, the first successful farm workers unions in the United States history, with bargaining agreement that eventually covered 80,000 workers in California, Arizona, and Florida, and
Florida, right? That's a lot. Okay. Whereas in 1968, Cesar A. Chavez conducted a 25 days fast reaffirming the UFW's commitment to non-violence that result with national awareness of the plight of farm workers. And
whereas on April 23rd, 1993, this great leader passed away, leaving a legacy of service and nonviolent resistance to social injustice that has made an enduring impact on farm labor issues and inspired millions of Latinos to achieve educational and political success. And
Whereas on August 8th, 1994, Cesar Chavez posthumously became the second Mexican-American to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States, and was honored by the state of California by a declaration of Cesar Chavez Day on the date of his birth. And
now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Clxc hereby proclaims March 31st, 2015 as Cesar E. Chavez Day in Clxc and encourages all residents to recognize the contributions and the positive impact that Cesar E. Chavez has made for our nation's workforce, conscience, and future. In witness whereof, we hereunto affix our signatures and official seal of the City of Calexico on this 17th day of February, 2015. John Moreno, Mayor.
Yes, I just wanted to say that there's different committee and there's more of us. A lot of people from different places, the school district, from different places in Central and also in Raleigh. So it's a valley-wide celebration. It's a celebration. It's a celebration of him, of what he stood for, what he did, and the work that he has left as a legacy. There's still a lot of work to do. Some of you know that. There's still a lot of farm workers out there that need housing, training, employment, health care, and they're still fighting to get contracts inside of Imperial County. So it isn't over yet. We just want to celebrate him and make sure that the young people that come after us do not forget who he is. So we have several activities. Last year we did a marcha and it was really successful. So a lot of people want to do it again. So we're going to meet in Eloyo where the original union office was at and march from there to the Rato Plaza. We're meeting at 8:30, so maybe all of you could be there. It'll be fantastic. You get a red flag and a pin, and it's really a lot of fun. So we have routes coming in, then at the park, we have a festival. A lot of different entertainment and food, and also some really great speakers. One other thing too is that this year AmeriCorps, if you want a presentation to your clubs or your classroom or whatever it might be, they're willing to go and give a 20 or 30-minute presentation on Cesar Chavez, his work and his legacy and whatever he did. So that's also, we want to make sure that people are aware of who he was and what work is yet to be done.
Yes, my name is Rosa Corona, the representative for... Hi, my name is Rosa Corona. I represent the United Farm Workers here in Calexico, California. I'm not usually in this place, but I just wanted to say that regarding the United Farm Workers, there's still a lot of workers here in the Imperial Valley that needs a lot of help in violations and a lot of other areas. So we're here in Calexico. We went back to over there where they call the Hoyo. We were here on the 2nd Street, and we just got a contract for a company named Derrigo that we just got about 1,500 workers under the medical health plan for this year.
Just a couple of quick announcements. I understand Roy Dorantes is making a movie regarding Cesar Chavez and the possible assassination attempt that was plotted in the Imperial Valley back in the early 70s. And some of you may be able to remember when Cesar Chavez came to Calexico with Ted Kennedy and supported the farm worker rights here in Calexico, right behind us. I think it was 67 or 60. I was just a kid, but it was many years ago. But he's always fought for the farm workers and the less fortunate. So thank you, Mr. Ortega, for receiving the proclamation. It's March 31st. Is that a Saturday?
Yeah, the March 28th.
Okay. Yeah, you'll give us all that information. Thank you. Public comments and public appearances. Note, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is a time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session item or consent item, please comment now. The City Council is prohibited by the state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please remember, always direct your questions and comments to the City Council. I only have one request for oral communication. If you would like to speak, please fill one of these out and bring it to Ms. Garcia. Oh, you have more? Sorry. Okay. I have quite a few more. So, si ustedes quieren hablar aquí al concilio, por favor llenen una forma que tenemos atrás y entrégalo a la señora Garcia. All right. I have Mr. and Mr. Kim. Do you have the timer? Okay. Set it for 3 minutes. There you go. We have public comments. Mr. Ben Horton, and then Maribel Padilla.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the City Council and staff and City Manager. What I'm doing today is just giving every meeting, we try to give a report to show what's been taking place with the Economic Commission. On February the 4th, we had a meeting with the Industrial Economics for Mexicali, the Imperial Valley Economic for the Imperial Valley, I should say, and the Clxc Economic, and the city, Chamber of Commerce Economic. This was a meeting to see what we can do in order to speed things up to bring, let's say, industry and businesses to Clxc. I'm proud to say that we formed a task force that will be meeting permanently every month to discuss this and to move things forward. And this is something that's going to benefit the city of Clxc especially. I just want everybody to know that your Economic Commission is moving forward. On a sad note, I just want to say I got one of the members that just got on the Economic Commission tendered his, he's resigned from the commission. It's a sad note. He'll be sorely missed, Mr. Javier Gonzalez. The one that appointed him, Mandy, has accepted his resignation, and we're moving forward to find somebody to replace him. But I'm sorry to see that he's leaving. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Horton. Maribel Padilla, and after Maribel, we have Maribel Padilla. Oh, that's on another item. And then Mr. Alex Peroni. Mr. Kim, if you could time.
I just wanted to give a small little recap of the homeless shelter. We will be closing it down on Monday, next Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning. They will be leaving, and we will be taking everything out of there, and it should be ready to go for the city to come up and pack up the tents, barracks. Another thing, last meeting I had said that I was working to get Citizenship and Immigration Services to come and do an outreach, and they confirmed with me today they will be there Thursday. So they will do an outreach with the residents at the shelter. Another thing, the residents at the shelter came to me. It wasn't my idea. They came to me, and they asked how they could pay back the generosity from the city, mainly the city community. So they said that they would be willing to paint the bathrooms at Rockwood Park because they're the ones that go in there. I've never gone in there. I don't know how bad they are. They said they're really bad. They said they would, put the labor if the city put the supplies. So not only are they going to do this, and Mr. Kim, pay attention, because you called them the enemy the last time. The enemy will be painting the bathrooms at Rockwood Park. They will be painting the bathrooms next to the orthopedic clinic. They will be painting the bathrooms inside and out at Border Park because they want to. They want to pay back what the community has done for them. Also, the following Sunday, not this one, but the following Sunday, we're also going out there, and they are going to go out there with trash bags, and we're going to go downtown, and we are going to pick up trash. They're going to clean up downtown. Although we will not be cleaning up in front of Mr. Kim's establishment, we wouldn't want the enemy anywhere near him because we are divided as a city, and we know what side of the division we are on. So everybody else will be cleaned up, except that little part. So next time you say they're the enemy, Mr. Kim, just remember, the enemy's out there. They're part of this community, whether you like it or not, whether other people like it or not. They're part of the community, and they're paying it back. I don't see anybody else coming out here. As much as people complained, I don't see you painting a bathroom. I don't see you picking up trash downtown. So be very careful what you call them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Padilla. Next, we have Alex Ramirez. Alex? Okay. Is it on this item or another item? Is it? Okay. Joe Buchanan.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. The only thing that's bothering me here is that eventually the city shop, mechanic shop is closed for whatever reason. Very sad, for me, Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Aguilera. Struck out. For whatever reason it is, we haven't got the exact reason, but it's a sad, sad situation here. So I haven't got the real answer yet, because they just brought us out that day, come over here, 2-3 minutes, get out of here, go bring your stuff and put it over there, and you're going over here and over there. Workers work. I don't mind going anywhere. We're workers. There's a lot of good workers here. A lot of good workers here, before, after, or tomorrow, or in other establishments. They're hard workers too. But obviously we got singled out, stuff like that. And as you can see in the news, drugs. When they came over here, they were over there about 45 minutes. Everybody was weedy, and all that, and having a ball while we were over there working. And then they decided to go over there in the shop, and the doc sniffed around. And he came over there to the lockers, and then when I was busting my butt over there, they called me, hey, you got to open your locker. So I opened the locker. The dog's no more longer there. The dog's not there no more. He's in the car. So they opened the locker, and they start searching everything there instead of having the dog go around and they claim they hit. But no, the dog was over there asleep in the car, and they did the procedures. So they didn't find nothing obvious. But you tell everybody here and people who know me here, everybody's telling me all this, what you're selling, all this, what happened here and all that, because the paper just puts it one way, that's their job, but then it's up to the community to decide what's the truth. And we haven't got the truth. Just close it down. And I said a long time ago, you don't have to do that. The 2-3 hours before we start work, we could go over there and get your parks. We adopt a park. That's the best way to resolution here. Each department will adopt 2 parks, and in 2 hours, you go and do your thing, then you go back, and that's the easiest way you could do. If the business stuff like that in the automotive, now let's say that we're losing money or stealing and all that, where's the proof? Finance is the problem. By the time they receive the bill over here, we already put the part. We already used a middle man. Just like the list we put to, they cost $600-700. We have to pay $1,500. And I don't know how many more parts they go back. The stealing, the drugs and all that, I don't know, I don't understand. And then they're sitting down, these people are sitting over there down and stuff like that, and then they open the door, and the officer's gonna put a glove, and then, Buck, can you step forward, turn around, drop your pants. And everybody, giggling, what the hell's going on here? So I just don't understand. So hopefully, Mr. Mayor, you could get everything else squared up, and assignment with a human resource, stuff like that, and let's take care of, I don't know. I'm all confused. That's why all these people are all confused. We should have a big old meeting with everybody here, all the employees, and lay it out the way it is. So we're not stealing, and if whoever's stealing, go get them, go catch them, and send them to jail. I'll be the first one to take a polygraph test or a drug test. I'm an athlete. I got my wife. My kids are in the university right now. I don't need this crap here. I just don't need it. And, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. Alex? No? You okay? Yeah. You want to come up? Okay. Tough act to follow.
Yeah, my name's Alex. I've been working for the city for 26 years. Mostly I do with the police cars and all that. First of all, I want to get something straight here that one thing that I want the mayor and city council members, we bought like, approximately it's like, I don't know how many, but we bought 20 Chargers. And most of those cars, they're under warranty. You know what a recall is? A recall is a defective part. Warranty, it's at 3 years or 36,000 miles. Me and my supervisors, like Peter, Nick Fenley, Lieutenant, the Chief of Police, they know what's going on. We've been sending cars back and forth, back and forth. Okay, well, like, I can describe any unit we have. One car, they already worked 4 times. Supposedly, they already charged once, second, third, and fourth. The mechanic already charged 4 times. They threw him out because he was stealing. So the same car, even though it hasn't been fixed, all the cars that we have right now, they have defective lights. Like I told Mondays, I told some of you, they have the suspension. They're no good. Even though the cars that we bought for us, Chargers, they're no good. But there wasn't any cars that we could buy because we had Malibus. We tried them, no good. We had the Ford Explorers, but they didn't have them. The only car that we liked is that Crown Victorias, but they don't make them until 2016. So right now we're stuck with the Chargers, but they were going back and forth, back and forth. But the thing is, they're saying that they want to privatize. They did already, because all the cars, they go to the shops, but they don't know the reason they're at the shop over there because their mechanics don't fix them. It's like I get like your car, Mayor, and suddenly you bring it to me. Hey, you know what? The alternator's bad. Suddenly I put the old one and says, you know what? It's ready. So later on, your wife says, you know what? The car is no good anymore. It's stranded in Imperial. So then you bring it back. Then I put the same one back. They're just playing with you, but the mechanic is charging you. But one thing is, I get kind of, you guys did already, but you said that you want to privatize because of that, but you're losing more money. But the truth here is that those cars, they're under warranty. They've been warranty. Remember, it's at 3 years, 36,000 miles. Then the tow truck is for 3 years. 3 years, 330, whatever. And I'm in charge of calling the tow truck all the time. But they're saying, or show me a bill that they're saying that Caterpillars, they go to whatever, at Acres and Imperial. There's no bill they're going to find because those Caterpillars, we fix them at the shop. Even though we had an emergency, that was on Friday. We had a Caterpillar, we had a dump truck. We had to fix it on the cement without like, hey, let me borrow a tool, go to your house and get a crescent wrench, Mexican style. Why? Because it was going to be a long weekend. And I don't know if you city council members know about what's going on. And for us, it says, hey, you know what, Alex? You're going to the park. You're going to go pick up dog poo. Yeah, we can go and do it. But you know what? I got a degree. I went to school. And for myself, even though I don't make that much money, even though I'll be honest with you, $20 an hour. They come and fix them $150 an hour from Maker. Who's going to come over? They charge by an hour, hourly. We don't make hardly anything. I've been here for 26 years. I wish I could be 62 right now so I could retire, but I can't. And I just want to know, I know all of you, Castro, Kim, Mayor, Maritza, Mandy, check out what's going on at the shop. You'll see you're going to be losing more money. Right now, we're buying parts, third party. You know what a third party is? We bought a little switch for one of those golf carts for the police department. It was like 27 bucks. You know how much we paid for that thing? $547. Look for that invoice.
Thank you, Mr.
So,
Ramirez.
thank you, and, yeah.
Okay. City council comments and reports of meetings attended. Anyone would like to go first? Mr. Real, you may go.
I'll go first. First of all, I want to thank all the employees that are here. I like to see people from the community involved. I think it's great. I want to personally say that I myself am very interested in what's going on with our city employees, and I know I have posted some things online that people have come up to me and tell me, you know, why are you posting these things about city employees? And I want to say that there's a graph here that was in the budget. I don't know if anybody has seen this graph, but I will go through it real quick. 25% of our budget goes to fire, 42 to police, 15 to administration, 1% to the city council, 3% to engineering, 8% to public works, and 6% goes back to the community. I don't know who's getting paid high salaries, who's getting underpaid or who's overpaid, but I was put here for the citizens of Clxc, and to see the parks the way they are, to see their streets the way they are, that 6% pie needs to grow. There is no way that our city can continue to have parks this way and streets this way. There's 180 employees in the city of Clxc, but there's 40,000 residents that need service. And so I'm sorry if I offended any employees. It was a general issue that I mentioned as far as an average of our city's employees. And so I wasn't necessarily pinpointing certain people. That's something that we need to, I believe the city has to do a study and see if who is overpaid, who is underpaid, and figure out where we need to be to give the citizens better service. I also want to say that there's a disconnect, I believe, that has happened in the city of Clxc for a long time, and that is that people believe city council members are supposed to deal with personnel issues, and that is not the case. The reality is that city council members create policy, and the city manager deals with personnel issues. Now, yeah, the city manager should, give us an idea why he wants to privatize certain things, but in reality, that's his job. We are here to create policy, vote things into law or not. I will definitely try and get with the city manager and figure out what happened in the shop and see why that was done. But ultimately, it is his decision. And once again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Real. Mr. Kim, Mr. Castro?
Okay. I'm sad to see what happening in the city of Clxc. And also as a council member, a lot's happening without knowing the council members. Especially I'm in the dark. A lot's happening in Clxc. I'm not informed it, and no reports. Just administration make themselves to, maybe they connect to some of the council member to make the decisions, just throwing the way they want it. And they should not do it. Pretty soon I'm gonna rebuild another ones, and they are making the decision staff by themselves without the council approval. Anyways, Mr. Mandy Real, it's very simple. What you're mentioning is we got too many chips to little Indians.
That is correct.
That's why we don't serve the community. We cannot serve the community because there's no Indians. Nobody can go there. Now, the city staff, they want to make the privatizing to contract to a lot of departments. They just calling to someone to do it, and they don't have headaches. But everybody forgot. Valley is very little job for the people. Especially in Calexico, a lot of people, they're out of job. And I'm not going to support anything to jeopardizing our citizens' community's job. When we contract out the out of control of the jobs. So that means that there's less chance to citizens to get the higher the job. Even the public company. I was mentioning Walmart, they only have 40 people, citizens in Calexico. They're working down there. So we're going to lose a lot of our possible job we can give to our community member that we're going to be shipping out to someone else. I won't support any jeopardizing our jobs. I won't supporting this privatizing our city's job. If the staff, they cannot control the job quality, they have to resign. We hire someone to do something. If they say, I cannot do it, well, they have to resign. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Mr. Castro?
Yes, well, first of all, I like to thanks or to give good. I've been on this issue. I have until today on the issue about the city shop. Until today, I haven't received any information about that from the administration. And I've been telling my colleagues, the citizen, every person who approached with me that concerning about the city issues, I've been telling them and to everybody, we have a real bad administration. First of all, the administration need to contact with the city council because we are the people who are governing this city. We are the policy makers. And that's something that some directors, not only they approach to this shop to ask them for to check the lockers and to check everything related to the city. My point here is, I mean, I know they are doing supposedly their job, but they are wrong. And not only that, they laugh about the employees. Look what happened to Bucanas. I know the director who was laughing about that. I know. And for me, that's something to laugh about the employees. I mean, that is very serious, and you know that. You know that is very serious. And you laugh. Guess what? Because you make a good paycheck, and these people are the people who really maintain the city. I'm glad this is the first time that the majority of the departments are here together. Try to protect your job. And that is something good. But I don't think no one can laugh about your job or laugh about you because they think that the directors, they're doing the right thing. No, they don't. And again, we have a real bad administration. I concur with Mandy. I concur with Mr. Kim. We have a real bad administration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Castro. along with Ms. Hurtado and Mr. Real, attended a meeting in San Isidro with regard to the General Services Administration on the expansion of the downtown port of entry, and we had a very positive meeting and roundtable discussion. We're looking forward to this finally becoming a reality. The first phase, which should be started this year, should really make us all feel better that we've got going to have a state-of-the-art port of entry for people to go into Mexicali and come back. So that has been long overdue. And I thank fellow council members Hurtado and Real for giving their point of view and their assessment of the situation. I also had the opportunity of meeting with Mr. Horton and members of the Economic Development Commission of Mexicali on another meeting we had a couple weeks ago. And we look forward to meeting with them and promoting our area because Clxc and Mexicali are sister cities, and with the wait times, there's billions of dollars in revenue that's being lost because people aren't coming over, and the majority that come over are shoppers. More importantly, I had the privilege and honor of meeting with several members of the city, and I want to let you know, the employees, that I'm available to meet with you. Just call me. My phone number is there. If you have questions or concerns, you know, sometimes it's better to get both sides of the story than to rely on one side. And I believe Mr. Real is right. There should be, or I believe it was Mr. Buchanan who said, bring everybody together. As far as administration and employees, talk to the employees, share your plans on what is in the future, because these are the stakeholders. These are the individuals who get things done in the city of Calexico. Administration and employees must work together. And so every year there should be one general meeting with all the employees, everybody, to come together and share the vision that the administration has and share the vision that the employees have as well. Because administrations come and go. It's the employees that stay. They have houses in Calexico. They live in Calexico. Their kids go to school in Calexico. Their families are in Calexico. They're here for the long run. So we need to make sure, and we are your voice. We need to make sure that we listen and that we listen some more, because we don't know what's going on out there. We don't know what's going on in your departments. And until you tell us or we visit, then we have a better idea on how we can fix things. So there seems to be a breakdown. There seems to be some severed ties. Hopefully, you bringing it out in the open will share with us and administration on how we can come together to a common solution. So thank you very much for being here tonight. It's always important to see a lot of you. I've known many of you for many years, and I'm just glad that you came out here tonight to share your concerns, especially Ms. Buchanan. You sounded like my old football coach up there, so it's good to see you, man. Thank you. Ms. Hurtado.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also agree with you in the attempts of some of the staff to try to reach me. I know that it's been a little hard because I am a tax preparer, and this is happening during the most heaviest part of the work that I have as a tax preparer. So I know that I spoke to a couple of individuals with regard to the issue today with the staff here. But I also came to the conclusion that it is important, after talking to some of the other representatives out there, your union representatives, that the staff needs to be have the opportunity to voice their concerns. And as far as information is concerned, maybe we need to be better at providing information. So we're with you as far as trying to make the best of this whole situation. But as I mentioned to others before, and as you can see, these are decisions that have been in play for a while with reorganization, so it's never easy, but we definitely want to be there to be able to listen. And I do apologize, I'm just not available as easily. Obamacare is really difficult this year, if any of you know, but I'm normally very available, and this year it's been just really hard for me, so please be patient with me in particular, but make sure you also count on here my co-workers that pick up the pieces for me when I'm this busy. Also like to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for inviting us to that tour in San Isidro, it was awesome to see that Tijuana San Isidro and Tijuana cut down their wait times from 3 to 4 hours to 30 to 45 minutes is what they told us. That was amazing. We need that. So apparently our 98 million that we just received, we will be having a groundbreaking, I think they said, at the end of this year. So that's really exciting. That's going to change a lot of things for all of us. Economic development is something else that we're working on very, very diligently. Thank you, Mr. Horton, for that, because economic development and building businesses and understanding how we can attract more businesses and learning from our neighbors to the south and to the north, we are connecting ourselves at this point and trying to make that better. Thank you to Maribel and all of those people of the city of Calexico and surrounding areas that helped our homeless shelter. It was a bit controversial at the beginning, and fortunately, those are what things happen sometimes when you have these issues, but that was amazing to see all those different people come out here and care, because we do care. So I want to thank everyone for doing that. And also, I believe you said that already, Mr. Mayor, that we will be having a town hall meeting to discuss issues with regard to our police department, and police department only. I will understand that there won't be any other discussion other than the questions that you may have. Very important that you all come to those types of meetings. There's so much information out there that's misunderstood and misinterpreted, and sometimes those misinterpretations are on purpose. And you don't want that. You want to be able to hear that information coming from the actual source and ask those questions, because misinterpretations helps no one. Besides that, I'm looking forward to more work in the City of Calexico's economic development, and also to know that lately had a lot of tickets in downtown, and we have now a nice program that you're going to be able to pay your tickets online. Not tickets, I'm sorry, your quarters for your meters. So maybe you might want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
The mobile now. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much. Ms.
For the new port of entry.
August 8th, groundbreaking for the new port of entry? Okay. Hopefully it'll be at night. Or early in the morning. Thank you, Mr. Horton. There is this press release is Mobile Now launches bilingual mobile payment program in Calexico. I'll defer to our city manager for public comments, and maybe you can give us information on this press release for Mobile Now.
One of our strategies for reducing costs and providing more effective and efficient and transparent municipal services is through the deployment of technology. Working with Mobile Now, an individual can now pay their parking permit fee or even their parking meter fee online with their mobile phone. So it's an app, you download it, and you can easily go ahead and take care of that. You don't have to come to City Hall anymore. You don't even have to have any change in your pocket. With your mobile phone and the app, you can pay for your parking. So this is just another thing that we're doing to make our city much more efficient, much more technologically oriented. We have a lot of people who have already started doing that. And so I encourage you, please, take advantage of that. If you go down there, there's little signs and stickers that tell you how to do it. So, just go to your parking place, your parking lot, and it'll tell you how to download it and how to do it and how to pay for it. And when the people who come around that do the parking citations, it automatically tells them, because we've also deployed technology as far as issuing citations, it tells them whether or not that car has paid for their parking permit or their parking meter online already. So if they go by and they see where it says expired, through the technology, they can determine whether or not that person has paid or has not paid. So it's a great thing and a great convenience for the citizens, but it's also a more cost-effective way to handling parking permits in the downtown area.
Thank you very much.
I have
Anything
some
else?
question on this.
Yes. Go ahead.
The one other thing I want to say, I understand while change is difficult, and I understand that perhaps there is some anxiety at some of the changes that are being made. You know, I do care about people. I do care about the employees. And that's one of the reasons why, as we did this restructuring in fleet maintenance, that nobody got laid off, nobody had their salaries reduced, nobody had their benefits cut. We simply moved the resource, the financial and personnel resource from the shop into the parks. I get the message loud and clear from the city council and the public that more resources, more time and effort needs to be placed in the city park. So these people who are working in the shop are now working in the city parks with no reduction in pay, no reduction in benefits, and they all have their jobs. And that's because we not only want to restructure the city, but we want to do it in a humane way so that we preserve people's employment, at the same time do the kinds of things we need to do to have that effective and efficient and transparent administration.
Thank you.
I have a question about the parking meter.
Yes, sir, go ahead, Mr. Kim.
How much it costs for the city to put all those structures? And how much cost for the citizens to extra cost to using it?
How much does it cost the city?
It costs the city to put in all the system?
The system is through this particular company, and it actually saves us money because we no longer have to process parking permits through the city finance department. John Quinn can come up here, and in fact, we could actually meet with you offline or meet with all the council members offline to talk about, when I say offline, at another meeting where we can go in detail as to how this whole system works.
Well, I believe the public has to know.
So,
Excuse me, Mayor and members of the council, the parking application that we're talking about really has very little capital expenditure, a few $1,000s. I think probably overall, we haven't spent more than $10,000 on materials, supplies, and capital expenditures. That'll be easily offset by the parking revenue.
So
It's a self-contained system that takes care of itself. Mobile Now is the provider, and they have absorbed a lot of the cost, and they also get a share of that revenue. But it's more than we'll be getting more out of the city's share than we did before in the old system.
Well, it's some benefit, I clearly see it, but I'd like to know, you saying the $10,000 only for the equipment and the $2,000 for the software or whatever?
That's so far, and I don't know what the final bill is going to be, but it's not going to be very much.
You mean $10,000 for those older system, they can pay for the meter?
Well, you're not paying for meters.
No, I'm talking about the people can use it as an app, whatever mobile app.
Well, the city's not, the individual will go on their cell phone and get the app.
Why don't, before you go on, Mr. Kim, why don't we have a presentation on this item at the next meeting? Just so that
Yeah, we can do that.
we can have it recorded and put it on the city's website.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quinn. And thank you for your questions, Mr. Kim. Moving on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar to be considered routine by the City Council, Clxc Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, or Clxc Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. There are 3 items on the consent calendars, 2, 3, and 4. Is anyone wishing to pull an item at this time?
Well, I like to pull the 3 and 4.
Mr. Kim pulls 3, and Mr. 3 and 4. Yes. Is there a motion to approve, or anybody want to pull number 2? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve number 2 on the consent calendar?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Real. Is there a second?
To approve the...
Item number 2, which is the
So moved, sir.
the minutes.
So moved.
Let's vote. Okay. And item number 3, a motion carries unanimously. Item 2, which is the minutes on those dates. And item 3 is the warrants from September 1, 2014 to September 30, 2014. Mr. Kim, you have some questions on this.
Yes, I have actually the item number 3 and 4 together. I've been seeing we continuously paying over $50,000 five-star electric, and was a 10,000. The other one is was called here the $30,000 or $3,000, and the other one was other months to go to $37,000. They keep spending with the same company. Do we have a special contract with this company? I believe we are adding all the numbers year round is going to be a lot of money. Why we don't go for the bidding process to hiring a company for the electrics? Or if we didn't do it, why we could using the one company keep on doing it? If we want to be using some company, we might have to go for the special year contract, whatever, to the bidding process.
So your question is, why didn't we go to the bidding process?
We didn't go.
Okay,
I don't
let's
see the
see
bidding
if staff can answer that question.
Yeah, why don't we have Nick Finley and Nick Servine come up here, and they can address, issues relating. One of the things I would encourage you, Mr. Kim, is come to your agenda briefing, and if you have a question regarding any particular expenditures, we can review it in advance with you prior to the meeting so that we are able to answer your question at the same time, not take the time of the public here.
Why didn't we go out to bid, I believe is the question Mr. Kim is asking.
For which company?
Five Star Electric.
5-star.
This is one of the sample of the what's called we spending money. We supposed to get contract any air conditioning company, electric company.
Yeah,
Let's go to
they can address that.
Well, we've had them do some electrical work around the city. Any one in particular, I'm not sure which one you're referring to. But we typically do have, when we go out to bid, small projects, it's more advantageous to go ahead and give it to a company, especially when they have a good reputation and they haven't done anything bad like other companies have.
And by the way, these are multiple projects. This isn't just one project. There's a lot of electrical work that we've had to have done.
As you can see, you have some light towers right there at the monuments. We've had some lights fixed in the city hall. There's been some work done here. You can see that there's lighting here. We're doing something in the rotunda. So, I mean, there's a number of things, and this company is Johnny on the spot. They show up, they do the good work, and we haven't had a problem with them.
Well, again, the bidding process, year contract, probably the one company. With that one, we can have a best out of a deal for the cities. So we can save the money and we can have a good job. And if, at least I understand that it's different, the multiple project, not only electricity, like ACs, whatsoever. We should have some company to bidding process, year contract or 2-year contract, that way we can save the city can save the money on those.
Now, the bidding process, there's a certain limit before we go out to bid, is that correct?
Yes.
So, can you comment on any of that? I think Mr. Kim is questioning that.
Well, the city manager has an authority to spend up to $49,950. Beyond that, we have to go out and get some bids, go RFP, RFB, and in some cases get an RFQ. We've done that with the appraisal service. We've done that with engineers. We did that with various projects. We've done that with the street paving program. We're just about ready to launch a street paving program. So, Mr. Kim, we have gone out for RFP and for bids, and we do that constantly. If we hadn't, we wouldn't be reimbursed by the state government and the federal government on these projects that we do using state funds and federal funds.
Well, we're adding all the money with the same company we're gonna be a lot more than 50,000 spending for each company. So we should have some kind of, I understand the city manager has 50,000 cap, but what I believe it, our staff, as long as the staff likes it, they just keep on calling them without any bidding process.
What-
We
Mr.
should have like a year contract, two-year contract to some company, they can give us a certain of the rate so we can save the money. That's my intention.
I guess, Mr. Kim, the suggestion that we're not going out to bid, or we're not getting proposals, or we're not getting quotes is really false. And I don't want the public to come away thinking that we're not good stewards of the public money and that we don't get the quotes and that we don't get the bids. So making accusations suggesting that we're not going out to bid is just completely wrong. And one of the things that we're very careful about is to make sure that we get value for the work that's being done. And I really think that Nick Finley and Nick Servine, who oversee the majority of this work that's being done, have done an excellent job to make sure that we are getting proposals, that we are getting quotes, and that we are following the city's purchasing procedures. I'd like to thank them for the good work that they're doing.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank-
Mayor, I call for the question.
You call for the question?
Yes, because if we'd like to expand on this issue, which is an interesting issue, maybe we should have an item on the agenda instead of at this moment, which is inappropriate.
Okay. There's a call for the question.
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead. I'll allow Mr. Castro to ask his question. Go ahead, Mr.
Yes,
Castro.
on the second page, it says here, Imperial County air pollution. That's $38,000. Is that a fine, or what is the reason we paid that?
Ms. Padilla?
That's a fine that we got last year for the wastewater plant.
Oh, it's a fine?
Yes.
Fine? Well,
We lowered it down from 3.8 million to 38,000.
This is what happened last, May? The Air Pollution Control District was going to charge the city a $3.8 million fine, and these gentlemen negotiated it down to $38,000. You're actually seeing the check cut now for a decision, by the way, that the city council approved in an open session that took place, last spring.
yeah, what I understand, Mr. Takara, he's the one who negotiated that. Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. Anybody else? Okay, there's a call. You want to?
Yes, we should move on.
Okay, so then, are you approving 3 and 4? Are you motioning to approve 3 and 4?
Well, first of all, I wanted to motion to end the conversation.
I think
being
that has happened already.
Correct?
Right, so if you want to motion to approve
Motion for its
3,
approval. Yes, sir.
for number 3?
Yes.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor to approve number 3. Please vote. I'm sorry, a second, need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Real, please vote. Okay. All in favor, respond by saying aye.
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 No.
Motion carries 4-1 with Mr. Kim in opposition. Mr. Kim pulled item 4. Is there any questions you have on item 4, Mr.
I
Kim?
already asked the questions put together.
Thank
The
you.
question, yeah.
You're saving us some time.
Motion for its approval, sir?
Motion by Ms. Hurtado. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Real. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion carries 4-1 with Mr. Kim in opposition. Thank you. Now discussion and potential action items. Number 5, discussion on request from Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District regarding removal of Councilman June Kim as a Joint Powers Authority member. And I believe everyone has a letter that was submitted by their president, Ms. Sylvia Bernal, which was dated February 10th, and it's a request by the Heffernan Memorial to place this on the agenda. And the letter says, the Board of Directors of the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District desires to be placed on the agenda for today. The Board of Directors at their February 5th regular meeting determined that Councilman Kim's conduct and comments at your regular meeting February 3rd concerning HMMD were unfair, biased, and incorrect. Mr. Kim's biased, arbitrary, capricious, and false statements require his removal from membership on the Board of Directors of the Clxc Special Financing Authority. The Board of Directors of the HMHD respectfully request the removal of Mr. Kim and the JPA's Board of Directors, and that the City Council of the City of Calexico appoint another member of the City Council to the JPA Board of Directors. And this was submitted by Sylvie Bernal, received on February 12th. Now, I have a person who wants to speak on this item, and Ms. Maribel Padilla, you may come forward. State your name and place of residence, please. She gets 3 minutes.
Maribel Padilla, Calexico. I would like to read from your City of Calexico Code of Ethics that is next for you guys to sign. Number 3 says conduct of members. The professional and personal conduct of members must be above reproach and avoid even the appearance of impropriety. We have seen how Mr. Kim acts. Just showed us earlier. We have seen how bad he can be, and that's when it's being recorded. Can you imagine how he acts at their board meetings when there is no recording, only minutes? I can only imagine. And for him to sit there and smile through it, if somebody was taking me off a board, I will not be smiling, Mr. Kim. You are an embarrassment, and I've said it before. If this is how you act here, this is how you act over there, because I don't doubt it a bit that you acted like that, that you act like that. Can we now imagine what you're going to be like in July as our mayor? Oh my God, the city's going to go to hell. When you become mayor and start acting like this and going out there to Sacramento, to other cities, El Centro Imperial, and you act like this, can you imagine? I am for them removing your butt off that board. And I wish I could remove you off of here, but we can't. We have to put up with you for another year. So, Mr. Kim, quit smiling. It's not funny. You are embarrassing the city. Here, there, everywhere. So, yes, everybody should vote to have you fired and removed from that commission.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. Seeing that there is no one else on this particular item, Mr. Kim, would you like to say anything on your behalf? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Bernal.
I didn't know if any of you have any questions for us, but I would like to have time to brief you on what's been happening. Mr. Kim attended the second meeting, which is the day that you had your city council meeting. That day, he had asked for information from our attorney, Eddie Rivera, on the boundaries, and I told him to attend the JPA meeting because we needed to have, if Mr. Kim had any questions, that we would gladly be able to answer. So both our attorneys were there, and during the time that we had the meeting, Mr. Kim questioned one item on attorney's fees, and that item was why I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kim, about why I had been speaking to Mr. Oswald on something about the mixer. Oh, and I told him, oh, what it is, Mr. Kim, is that, you know, we're having the mixer in December, and I wanted to find out if we needed to post it, because all 5 of us were going to be there. So I called Mr. Oswald to question him. And we try to clarify that for him. The meeting went very well. As a matter of fact, after the meeting, before that, I had gone to see him, and I gave him a copy of the bylaws. And the meeting went very well. Mr. Castro was there too. After the meeting, we stayed talking for about 30 minutes. And, you know, we were talking just about, you know, JPA, what our plans were, that we wanted to do a wellness park. And all of a sudden that night, I'm sorry I wasn't here at the meeting, he starts saying that we're wasting money on attorney fees. He has never requested any of our budget information. He has never gone to the office to ask for any more information. And as I mentioned to you, Mr. Moreno, on the JPA, we need 2 votes from the City Council and 1 Heffernan
member to be able to make any type of decision. I mentioned to you that as long as Mr. Kim was on board, that we were not going to be able to do business for the whole year. From there, I also mentioned to you, Mr. Moreno, that we pay $25,000 to the senior wellness program. We give for the free clinic that we have. We pay for the vaccines. We pay the ambulance that the city has already had 4 ambulances. And I told you, kiss it goodbye. But for the next year, as long as Mr. Kim is there, we are not going to be able to handle any business. And you know what makes me really sad, Mr. Kim? That I have tried to go out of my way to assist you, to help you, and you have not had the courage to come to me or to any of us here. Mr. Castro sits on the board too, or anybody, and ask what it is that you didn't like. I can't work, or us, Heffernan Board, cannot work with people that don't want to be part of the team. I need somebody who wants to be part of the team, who wants to see Calexico grow. And apparently I don't know, Mr. Kim, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why you act the way that you do, and I'm not here to judge. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Bernal.
Looks like I have to talk.
First of all, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Bernal?
Why didn't call me when you heard of that? What you heard, it didn't happen here.
I saw the video,
No.
Mr. Kim.
No.
I saw the video.
No.
It was
Wrong.
not told by me.
It's wrong.
I
Okay.
saw the video.
Yeah. I was mentioning is JPA, not the Heflin Board.
JPA.
I was JPA, we have a $1.5 million. The money's there. We don't have revenue coming in. We just spending money with the lawyer. Even the lawyer have to come, we pay for all the way. So we have to find some other way to benefiting the community, like a swimming pool. We need some project to spend money for to benefit for the community, not to wasting money, just timely, we spending money for nothing. Just, little things on the JPA, we need to do something where community needs a swimming pool. We have a $1.5 million that's sitting down there. The last year we spent, we had $1.6 million. Now we have a $1.5 million. So like about $160,000 that we spent the last year. So instead of just spending money, my point is doing some project to benefit to the community for the forever stays. That's my point. So why didn't you call me?
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you,
know.
Mr. Kim.
When you heard that,
You know,
why didn't you call me? What's going on?
I'm asking the city council to please, I mean, you work with him, you know what you have to go through, and it's not fair for the Heffernan Board to have to go through this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bernal. Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim. Anything else you would like to say regarding this issue?
Well, actually, there was she's hereby from someone to not really happening. What I was talking about the JPA, the money, not the Heffernan Board. I think they got misunderstanding, upset. If the council wishes to remove me, I'm okay with it. I don't have to be there.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Castro, you serve on this board, don't you?
Yes, you know, I believe, and I understand Heffernan Memorial Hospital Board, all the members, I understand this situation. But at the same time, Mr. Kim, he's been there for the second meeting. I believe we need to give him, and he should ask for more information related to JPA money. I believe we can give him the opportunity to work with us. It's only 2 meetings that we show up. So I think he deserves, like most everybody said, second chance. That's my point. And like I told you, I've been there, I heard, and I understand the board. but I have the knowledge, and I know he's capable to work with us. So that's what I
Thank you, Mr. Castro, and by the way, thank you for serving all these last 7 years on this board. I know a lot of us are already involved in other committees that we serve on for the city that take some time away from what we do during the day. And Mr. Kim, maybe he is difficult to work with. Maybe he doesn't understand some of the things that go on, but I don't know. He's been there for 2 meetings. Would the third one be a charm, do you think? If you were to give him, I mean, well, I know, but if he were to meet with you beforehand at a meeting, has that happened, or is there a way to remedy the problem to keep him on if we've exhausted all resources?
No, Mr. Moreno, you know what? For somebody that's only been with us for 2 meetings and he's already causing these problems, this is not fair, and you know that. And Mr. Castro, I am ashamed to hear you say what you're saying, because I spoke to you about this issue, and what you're saying right now is not, and you've been a true friend of mine, and I've stood by you all the time, and what you're saying right now is not what you said when we spoke to you the other day. I am very, very disappointed in you, but that's beside the fact. We cannot work with Mr. Kim. I am sorry. I mean, I called Manny and I spoke to him and I asked him if he would be willing to take over, and he said he would. You know, he's blasting us and he's part of Clxc. That's not fair.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, thank you, Ms. Bernal. We'll get back to you in just a minute. Anyone else?
I'd just like to comment that maybe we should consider what they're brave enough to come here and discuss in front of us and in front of the public, that they're having difficult issues with this member, and in order to be able to proceed forward, we all want to be professionals. And if they're not feeling comfortable, then they're not going to be able to work either. And if they've already have some discussions with Mr. Real, I would say maybe that'd probably be the best thing, is to alleviate the pressures they're probably feeling at this time.
Okay, Mr. Real?
I'd just like to say that, from my observation of Mr. Kim, you know, he's an intelligent man. He's a little difficult to. I think he doesn't like to ask people for help sometimes, and maybe that's the issue that Heffernan Board is having. He seems to be a person that likes to do his own homework, and that's why he's always got so many books, you know. You know, I don't know if it's something that's not going to work. You know, I don't know how much Mr. Kim wants to be on that board, but I do see that me and Moreno and Maritza are on most of the boards, and I would love to see Kim and Castro involved more in other boards. You know, we all are on a lot of different boards, and I would like to. I mean, if me myself, I would like to see Kim stay if somehow he is willing to say he's going to make the effort to be informed and do better. But if you guys think that's 2 meetings is 2 meetings too much, then I guess we got to figure that out.
Okay. Mr. Kim, go ahead. You may address the council.
Yeah, first of all, nothing happens at the Heffernan Board. Heffernan Board, we had a meeting, we had a discussion, we had informed it. What they're saying is, right now, what I mentioned in the last council meeting about the JPA money we spend with the lawyer, and then we wasting money. That's what they got upset. They are informed that I was talking to the Heffernan Board. I didn't mention about the Heffernan Board wasting. I don't have any business, Heffernan Board business. What I was mentioning, JPA, we have a limited money. Money is just frozen. We don't have any more revenue. The money we spend, money for the administration every year, to shrinking. Instead of shrinking, I like to have that one for something valuable for the community. That's what I was what I talked at the last meeting. But I didn't say anything on the Heffernan Board and things like that. So they misunderstood, but again, council members' wishes. And also that after the meeting finished, I had to speak with Mr. Rivera. I wanted to talk to him, but personal matter I couldn't have time, make the time for him, because my wife have to flew back to Korea to funeral for his brother.
Sorry to hear that.
And actually, he died. And she watched he died. And one thing was, we spending money to pay the lawyer, Mr. Oswald, to come down to the Clxc all the time, and mileage, we pay everything. And then mine is, well, why we have Mr. Rivera or city lawyer can be JPA lawyer instead of get somebody else from outside. So we can save the money there too. So that kind of idea was having. I was trying to make Mr. Rivera. But overall, I was mentioning at the meeting at the JPA, nothing about the Heflin board.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim. So item number 5 is a discussion and/or action on the request of the removal of Mr. Kim from as a JPA member. Is there a motion for this item?
A motion to have Mr. Kim removed and Mr. Real as a replacement,
Okay.
in consideration of the concerns of the members.
Is there a second? I'll go ahead and second it. We've already had discussion, yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Has the-
pursuant to the joint powers agreement, it requires the council to remove. The mayor has the appointment power
Okay,
pursuant to Section 3.
all right. So just for the removal of Mr. Kim,
Then I amend the motion for the removal only.
and I'll second it. Please vote. And the motion carries 3-2. And now the appointment, is there an alternate for this?
No, Mr. Mayor, you have the authority pursuant to Section 3, subparagraph B, to appoint 2 members. Obviously, we already have one filled by Mr. Castro. So there would be an appointment of a council member to this particular joint powers.
Okay, and the meetings are the Tuesday of the council meeting? Yes, once a month. At 12:30. And Mr. Real, if you accept this appointment or not, I can volunteer my time too. So let me know.
I can too.
Okay, or you,
Take it 100%.
okay. So it's up to you. Would you accept this appointment? If not, I can do it.
I will accept it.
Okay? So then I will appoint Mr. Real to this JPA.
Congratulations, Benjo.
And
Can I
Mr.
make
Kim,
a-
thank you for your 2 meetings of service.
Can I make a?
You're welcome.
Yes.
I would like to know if any of us would like to maybe give one of our appointments to Kim in a future setting. Maybe, I'm the liaison to Mexicali, maybe he wants that. I'm willing to share with Mr. Kim.
Well, he is trilingual.
He is a elected official, and he should be on. I'm sorry that he couldn't work with the Heffernan board, but hopefully we got to find you a place somewhere.
I'm gonna be busy too. That's still what I'm mentioning about the project, over 1,000 employees project. There's still in the negotiations. I'm gonna be busy with that.
All right, then what we'll do, Mr. Real, good point, is next subcommittee that's needed, Mr. Kim will be readily available.
Yes.
All right? Thank you, Mr. Real, for your service as well. Moving on to item number 6, public signing of the City of Clexico Code of Ethics by City Council members. And I believe everyone has in front of them the Code of Ethics. And I
Bless you.
took the liberty of signing it already. Is that okay? Or do I have to wait? Okay, you have a comment?
Resign it.
Yes, I'm sorry. Come in, Ms. Padilla. You have a comment on this item, even though you mentioned it before. You can go ahead and timer.
Maribel Padilla, and I definitely do have a comment. The Code of Ethics, and I'm reading from it. Let me read number 8. conflict of interest. In order to assure they are independent and impartially on behalf of the common good, members shall not use their official position to influence government decisions in which they have a material, financial interest, or where they have an organizational responsibility or personal relationship which may give the appearance of a conflict of interest. Mr. Castro has a personal relationship with his son, who owns the transit. Mr. Castro, at every single transit issue, votes no. He is always against the conflict of interest. This is why at the last meeting, I had to leave when you guys were reading it, because I got nauseous and I almost barfed with all the hypocrisy coming out of Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro. Okay? Let me read number 3 to you, Mr. Castro. Pay attention, listen. Conduct of members. The professional and personal conduct of members must be above reproach and avoid even the appearance of impropriety. Members shall refrain from abusive conduct, personal charges, or verbal attacks upon the character or motives of other members of council, boards, commissions, committee, the staff, and the public. Guess what? I'm the public. Now, I left, but on Friday when I watched the meeting, lo and behold, if I don't see you calling me a witch, and everybody laughed, all of you, okay? Mr. Castro, I've been called worse by better people. Actually, everybody does know I'm a witch, so I don't take that wrong, that I'm a witch. But you know what I take issue with? If you're gonna call me a witch, which you can't even look at me now, look at me. No, you can't, okay? If you're going to call me a witch, do not wait till I walk out the door and close the door. Have the balls to say it in my face. If you need to borrow mine, I'm
Mayor,
willing to lend
call
it to
for
you.
the question.
It's
Mayor,
not a debate.
are you gonna
It's not a
continue hearing
debate.
that?
It's not a debate.
Are you,
Mr. Castro, be quiet. It's not a debate. If you can call me witch, I can tell you what I'm telling you right now.
Mayor, are you gonna continue
No,
with
it's
this?
not a debate. I'm going to keep on going my 3 minutes if you keep interrupting. Do you want me to read it here where it says you're not supposed to interrupt? And then you wonder why I want to barf? Because you're going to sign something you can't even attempt to accomplish. Again, y para que me lo entiendas bien en español, si me vas a decir nombres, dímelo en mi cara. Ten los huevos, ten los pantalones de decirlo en mi cara, no cuando salgo y cierro la puerta. Yo te lo digo aquí, que tú no me quieras ver a mí en los ojos es otra cosa. Ten los pantalones, te los presto si quieres.
Mayor?
Her 3 minutes are up. We have to let her speak. Her 3 minutes are up. Okay, thank you, Ms. Padilla. At this time, we sign the document? Or how do we do it?
Everybody should sign the document and turn them in to the city clerk.
All right.
Has anyone
So the
taken
city
any
clerk
pictures?
should acknowledge, the city clerk should
Mayor,
acknowledge.
this
that-
lady continue to interrupt the meeting. Are you gonna
Ms. Padilla-
continue with that?
Ms.
Or
Padilla-
what happened to you, Mayor? Are you the mayor or not?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Ms. Padilla, please refrain, okay?
Mayor,
Okay, okay, let's move
Are
forward.
you the mayor or
Let-
not?
hold, okay.
you coordinate
Mr. Castro,
the
Mr. Castro.
meeting, yes or no? That's my
Ms.
question.
Padilla, please. We're going to call for an adjournment if this doesn't stop. All I ask is that you sign the document, compliance and enforcement of the 16 principles of the Code of Ethics.
And then the city clerk should acknowledge that she's received them from everybody when she gets them over there.
Okay, here you go. That last page is null and void.
Okay, did the city clerk get the signed documents from all members of the city council?
Mr. Kim? This is Mr. Kim's? Okay, thank you, Mr. Castro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. Thank you. All right, very nice. Everybody submitted theirs? All right, moving on to item number 7, which is discussion and potential action regarding Calexico Neighborhood House request for waiver of a temporary use permit filing fee and costs related to the Cesar Chavez March. And I believe last year, and the previous years, we have waived this fee, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Ortega. And unless there is anyone else wanting to speak, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second for discussion.
Motion moved by Mr. Kim, and there's a second for discussion by Mr. Real.
I would like to pay the fee myself. The city needs the funds, but I'm willing to help you guys out with paying that fee.
Is
that
that
possible?
okay? If you
Yeah,
pay-
that's fine.
That's fine.
That works. Thank you.
It's a total of
Still need-
$835.
That is fine.
No. 135, I'm sorry.
My check is, my.
He had
my
a
check-
second thought there.
My check is donated.
Well, I really want to thank Councilman Real for donating the
Can I
fee.
make payments? No.
Yes, no problem. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Real, on that generous offer for this item. And we'll make that as a motion by anyone, by Mr. Kim. Would you like to move that this be approved, but with Mr. Real submitting funds for the cost?
Well, my motion, I'll cancel my motions.
You don't want to amend it?
No, just go ahead, somebody else do it.
All right.
You want to go 50-50 with me?
No, I'm okay.
I'll go 50-50 with you, Mandy.
There we go. Tax time. Ms. Hurtado's in the money. She's getting a refund.
No, I'm not. My client.
So thank you
I
very
amend-
much, Council Members Hurtado and Real, for splitting the cost of $135.
But formally, I'd like to make the motion,
But
because he did rescind his.
he rescinded his. Go ahead and make the motion.
Motion to approve this item for the waiver. However, then Mr. Real and myself will assist the neighborhood house in covering the fee.
Well, since
Second.
we're going two-way split, maybe how about a three-way split? No, I'm just
Menage a
kidding.
trois.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Five-way. That would cost us about, what, $25 each?
Second.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Second by Mr. Real. Please vote.
I don't get paid till the first, though.
And the motion carries. Now we go to the appointment. And thank you. I'll buy you guys lunch that day, all right? That's the least I could do. Okay. Appointment by mayor and council members to various boards, commissions, committees. And we have on the Financial Advisory Board, I think you had one person.
I need to make an announcement that Mr. Javier Gonzalez resigned from the
Okay.
Economic Development.
Right. And, I'm sorry? Ben had already said that? Yeah, okay. So Mr. Gonzalez, well, he was in there quick, wasn't he? Like a hamburger, in and out?
A meeting.
So I have one, I don't think I have one at this time.
I think you had.
Who? Was it? Did I? Yeah. I think I had Mr. Peroni on this one. I will appoint Mr. Alex Peroni, pending submittal of application. All right? So I'm complete? I think so. And then we have an opening for Mr. Gonzalez. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you for coming out.